Ooh, it caught me off guard there. I was readjusted. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome into the Dreamers Library. I see we got some dreamers out there ready to learn. And if you're here, it's for your own studious advancement in the pursuit of your dollars and your dreams. So it's worthwhile. We're not just here to have fun. I guess that's what people do, I guess. But to me, the reason I read is because knowledge is power. But knowing isn't enough. Applying it is everything. So today, We're going to talk about how to think and dream creatively. We're in chapter 5 of The Magic of Thinking Big. This one says more than 4 million copies sold. I think there was at least 6 million copies sold. This is one of the most foundational books there is, and this week it hit for me. It's right on time. Yeah, good reminder. So if you're joining us, welcome. I hope you're having a happy Catterday. It is that time. It is good old Catterday again. And hey, the markets are up this week. And hey, I see a wild peanut out there in the wild. But why don't we dive right into this thing? If you're here, let us know you're here in the live chat. We will custom tailor to you. If you want to engage, if you want us to flow towards you in this custom tailored talk, let us know you're out here because we want to serve whoever's listening most. And what else? Chapter 5. Yeah, I think the big thing here is let's just dive right in. Let's cruise through this thing. You know the drill. We're going to talk about these habits and how they can help you move closer to your dream, and also how they can serve us in crypto as well as Dreamcat. So it's a little bit of crossover of Dream Talk, but we don't pick the topics, and we can pull stuff up online if we want to. So right off the jump, let's dive in. If you're just here for a little while, nugget number 1 is one of the juiciest nuggets. Okay. We're starting off on page 100. Title, How to Think and Dream Creatively. Off the rip. How appropriate. Dreaming creatively. This is Dreamcat, where dreams come true. And this entire project is built on creative thinking, you could say. It's against the grain. It's the timing goes against everyone else out there. We've done things differently. How are we going to go to the moon? Different than just KOLs and marketing dollars. Like creative thinking, creative dreaming is being done right here in Web3 on what we see as possible. So we fit the bill, and keep that in mind as you go along. He says, okay, what is a key here, okay, in your life and dreaming big and thinking bigger? Creative thinking. What is creative thinking? Creative thinking is if you are limited in your life based on your circumstances, right? So many people, limited based on what they have. With traditional thinking, you're stuck, right? If someone says, I want to make $10,000 a month and all they have is $100, logic says, how the heck am I going to do that? That's a dream. That's unrealistic. Creative thinking would be, okay, I have $100. I'm going to work out this strategic plan of compounding where I'm going to take my $100 and I'm going to put $10 into 5 groups, and I'm going to put $5 into 10 groups, and I'm going to do wild cards, fresh launches that I watch, and then I'm going to do, long-term cat plays, decade memes, XRP, whatever, and you make your strategic way, and through creative thinking, you can make a creative outcome. This is how a low-income family who wants to put their kid in private school finds a way. Oh, he picks up a gig. Oh, he teaches piano classes. Boom, boom, boom. We scrape up the extra money. Creative thinking gets shit done. Point blank, period. So if you're in a jam, if you're in a situation, if you're looking to level up your life, what we're doing here is we're moving the mind around, and we're challenging you to say, all you need, a couple things. This is for myself, not from the book. Desperation. Desperation's powerful. When the crackheads, right? I hate to go to the crackheads. You never hear a crackhead say, oh man, damn, I'm all out of crack. I guess I'll go home and do nothing. They say, no, we're going to get some more. It's just what they do. The other thing for you is desperation. What was the other key? I think I lost it. They were on the tip of my tongue. Crackheads just was out of line, took out of pocket, just took me out of the flow. I lost it. We'll come back to it. Okay, so now, creative thinking, important. So creative thinking is simply finding new, improved ways to do anything. Now, what is step 1 of creative thinking? Here's the alpha. You can take this home, put it in your pocket. Believe it can be done. That is the basic premise of creative thinking. First and foremost, you must believe, as Master Ugwe says, you must believe. Believe it can be done. To do anything, we must first believe it can be done. Believing something can be done sets the mind in motion to find ways to do it. I read that, and it's such a powerful reminder, especially because as a dreamer myself, I'm going through quantum leaps of like astronomical life changes in every single way possible. And I notice it. Some days it's like Your mind flows down one avenue, right? Let's just pretend there's like, should I draw a little diagram? Let me just draw it for myself. Okay, there's a fork in the road, right? You're familiar with like a fork in the road. So you're going straight and you have two options. You can go left or you can go right. You're never going to be able to see that. All right, just follow me here. Wait a minute. I thought I had a snazzy tool here to do this now. Maybe not. I'd have to Google that. Okay, anyways. When you're moving in your life, you have a fork in the road. And this creative thinking and the power of belief determines, like, you will go back and forth, unless it's just me, over and over all the time. So you're here, and now what happens? Well, if you go left, it's, I can't do this. How am I, here's my circumstances. Here's what's realistic. Here's what I've seen the last 10 years. Here's how the pattern of my life works, the story of my life works, yada, yada, yada. And it's kind of like mid-level, realistic thinking. And that level of thinking produces a result. If you come in with the mid-level thinking, maybe this, maybe that, I'm not so sure, it could be this, you take actions that fit that. But when you're believing in the big outcome, no, this month I'm trying to figure out how to make $10 million, right? That alone, it sounds crazy, that sounds unrealistic, but that thinking alone, that positive, outlandish, it's possible, finding one little reason, one little why. That creative thinking is what fuels you to do new things that make new things happen. And because you flirt with something like that, you put yourself in a position, an opportunity, and that's what makes things happen. Like, most people don't even take the risks because they're like, what's the point? It's never gonna happen, right? So they don't even play the game. But the creative dreamer does. So first, you got to believe. You must believe it's possible for you. You must first believe it can be done. What about DreamCat? Do we believe? Do you really believe this can be a billion-dollar project? I know it can. The hard part is seeing is believing for most. But if you can believe it, then you're already good. If you believe, it's extremely undervalued. You're holding a bullish bag. You're in a good place. Okay, go into page 102. Suggestions. You might cut down time. Okay, so there was a story here. Simple story. We're going to breeze through it. A guy basically, this is the good point. Just what I just explained, left or right. It's kind of redundant, actually, to say it again. But the guy did the same thing. First, he asked people, hey, let's get rid of prisons. I think we should get rid of prisons because, hey, let's let people run wild and free, or, hey, let's do prison reform. So he mentioned this idea and just let it fly. And this group of people for 10 minutes listed every reason why it can't be done. No, it can't be done. There'll be repeat offenders. They'll break into houses. They listed all the things. Now he said, cool, I hear you. Now, you don't want to do prison reform. You don't want to free the people. I got you. Well, just for scenario, for the next 10 minutes, I want you to think, you told me every reason why it's not possible. For the next 10, I want you to think of every reason why it could be. Even if it's quote unquote unrealistic, let's just brainstorm on why it could be possible, okay? And so they went through and they said, man, yada, 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 yada. Where is it? You can make surgical procedures to heal some people. You can educate law enforcement for positive reform methods. You can conduct research to spot criminals before it happens. You can work to eliminate poverty. You can make youth centers for troubled kids who get in trouble, XYZ. These were samples, but what they said is when you believe, your mind finds a way to do. Same thing rehashed, but it's just true. Once you have to put yourself in a mind state of belief in order to find the how. What most people are doing, what 95% of people are doing in here, in crypto, and in life, because everyone has a dream, but very few are going to achieve it. The reason why is they're not in the state of believing and looking for the how. They're in the state of realisticness. They're thinking in the wrong way. How do most people think? Man, how am I going to retire, or how could I retire? Retirement's on the mind, right? They're thinking about, oh my gosh, I'm 30 and I got to start thinking about retirement. Well, thinking about retirement isn't thinking about abundance and quote unquote getting rich. If you're thinking about the end at 65, you're taking a more safe, conservative way. That thinking just won't get you there, right? And so it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So What do you have in your life? What outcome, what dream exists where you need to consider applying how it could happen for you? Okay, you've never had $10,000 before. You've never had 10K. Okay, you can see why that may not happen. Oh, wow, respect. Bro, AJ is awake. He said he was going to pull up, and I was like, man, he might fall asleep. And he's out here. So you can think about why it wouldn't, but now can we challenge you? Can you think why it can happen? What makes the possibility that this could happen in your life? Let's start thinking, what are possible ways you can get $10,000? Well, you start doing the moon math. You start looking at opportunities. Hey, if you think aliens are, if you think Donald Trump's going to announce aliens are real in 2027 or wherever, that's a 36x, maybe a 46x. Dang, what's the moon math on that? How do you get to 10,000 that way from a couple $100, $300? Your mind will find the ways. Trust. Your mind always find the ways. Shout out to, who is this? We have Miss Rose. Shout out to Miss Rose in the chat. Good to see you, Miss Rose. Hope you're having a great Saturday. What else do we got here in the comments? Hello, Miss Rose. Good morning, my people. Was flying a kite with the sun. Dude, unreal. What a vibe thing to do. Flying a kite with the sun. This guy's living out here. Love it, dude. Awesome. Glad you're here. Okay. Another little nugget for you. That experiment with the whole police reform thing has one point. When you believe something is impossible, your mind goes to work to prove for you why that is correct. But when you truly believe something can be done, your mind goes to work for you and helps you find ways to do it. But you got to believe. And your mind is like your employee. It's always working for you. But what we're going to get to is it depends what you feed it. Believing something can be done paves the way for creative solutions. Your mind will create a way if you let it. Boom. By the way, I got to ask my regular question for Satoshi, who's out here. Satoshi, what did you think of this week? Or what was your number one nugget? What was your number one nugget before I fly through and say everything? What was your number one nugget if you were able to read this week? Okay, where are we looking at, chat? 104? No, we're skipping 104. 105 has two more nuggets I want to share with you. Okay, in the essence of believing something can be done, believing it's possible, that's a great start for creative thinking. Here are suggestions, two suggestions, to help you develop creative power, creative thinking power through belief. Number one, here's the alpha, hello. Eliminate the word impossible from your thinking and speaking vocabulary. Impossible is a failure word. That's impossible. That can't be done. It's impossible. Failure. We don't want it. We're delusional. We are controlling our words, what we think, what we read. We're painting our mind in the right direction. Impossible, eliminate that. Nothing is impossible. Everything is possible when you dream. Number two, think of something special you've been wanting to do but felt that you couldn't do. Now, make a list of reasons why you can do it. Many of us whip and defeat our desires simply because we concentrate on why we can't, when the only thing worthy of our mental concentration is why we can. So that is a lesson right in itself. Where are you going to point your mind? To which side? If you simply point it towards how it can be possible, you're going to get a lot further than if you're thinking about the negative. And that's the problem with most people is they can never, you talk about dreams, right? We're talking about dreams here, and some people are optimistic. Some people, they got it in them. They're good. They're the dreamers. But some people come here with damaged beliefs, right? They get excited for a week, a month, but then they go back to their current reality. And they're using their current question, are you using your current reality as a measuring stick for what's possible for your future right now? I know the majority do. Are you? Because the dreamer, this is why we're here. The dreamer doesn't build with what they can see here. They build their dreams based off of a future reality that's big and doesn't quite exist, and they backtrack it and just find the one possibility. Well, it may seem like tough luck, but from here to there, from there to here, that's what the dreamer does. So which one are you? It's worth thinking about, worth considering. Which one are you? Okay, flying along all the way to page 107. And this should be decently quick, like maybe 1 hour, which would be good. Page 107, I had another nugget. And I'm nugget hunting right now. We're just extracting nuggets versus stories. Page 107 at the bottom, final paragraph. It says, traditional thinking is personal enemy number one for the person who is interested in a creative personal success program. Traditional thinking freezes your mind, blocks your progress, and prevents you from developing creative power. So that's a good note right there. I mean, we're kind of saying the same thing over and over. It's traditional thinking. What are examples of traditional thinking? I want to make money. I need more money in my life. How do I get money? School, college, degrees. Degrees equal money. That's an example of traditional thinking. I need more money. I want to retire sooner. How do I do it? A job, a job, right? I need a job to make money. That's traditional thinking. That's only an idea. Most people have a career. If I'm being frank with you, as my ideas have developed, I don't think about a job. I don't think about a career. I just think about my dreams and how I can make them possible. That's my North Star, my dreams, right? This is what I want to do. This is what I want. And that's where I'm pointing my attention to. And wait a minute, a job is just a way to get money. I don't need a job. All I need is money. So if I can make money appear, then I can do what I want. I don't need a career like some of the best people in the game. I mean, they're just creative thinkers. Some guy, for example, in the crypto world, I just heard about the story of this DGen guy. And they're retelling the story about the Trump coin. Mind you, this guy had a lot of money, but the ratio is still good. So I think he had $2 million. So this guy saw the Trump coin launch, and he had $2 million in this big risk, big reward. He put that 200 million in. He's like, I think it's Trump. Let's take a risk. And within 40 minutes, I think he cleared $30 million. So even if you didn't have 2 million in 30 minutes with a quick risk, it was a 15x. Now I know this space can be toxic and we don't recommend betting on brand new launches, but there's different ways to take risks. For example, in DreamCat, the entire thing's built in reverse. So if you're here, you still have a chance. It's built differently. It's slower in the beginning. Things get revealed over time. But what that does is that gives you, as a believer, as an opportunity thinker, a chance to be a part of something great where you can dollar cost average. Technically, you've had 2 years, all different ranges. We've never even cleared $1 million market cap. Different ways of thinking, man. Traditional thinking, personal enemy number one. Okay, we're flying through page 108. We're going to page 109. We're going to page 110. We're going to page 111. Weekly evaluation. Okay, here's where I found the next nugget. How can I do a better job? Okay, big success. Okay, I'm just going to read some of these things I have highlighted here. Big success calls for people who continually set high standards for themselves and others. People who are searching for ways to increase efficiency. Just by asking yourself, how can I do a better job? You will find creative ways to increase your performance. So where do we want to apply this? You guys most people have jobs, I'd say, right? So you have a traditional job. Do you want to apply this in your traditional job? How can you do a better job? And would that alone relate to the promotion that you think you'll never get because you're lollygagging? And I have a really good topic in like a page or two that I'm going to, 2 pages away, a good debate. And I want you guys to debate back. You can apply that here. You could apply this in Dream. How can I do better? Because guess what? Some people give me credit. Man, you're so consistent. Dream, you're showing up. And I'm like, dude, I'm not lollygagging, but in a sense, I'm lacking in a sense like, oh, we could do so much better. We could do so much more. Like we're multitasking 20 things. So you can be real with yourself. Can you do better? Can you do better? Okay. Then he says, bottom of page 111, nice page number, 111. The I can do better philosophy works magic. When you ask yourself, how can I do better? Your creative power is switched on, and ways for doing things better suggests themselves. So again, this thing here, this is your magic money machine. This is your manifesting. The heart is very, very important, but the brain, ideas, thinking, that's literally the difference. When I look at, you let me know what you think. Maybe you know people in your life. Have we talked about this in previous chapters? When you look at people, okay, this person makes $1 million a year and this person makes $50K a year. What's the difference? Well, we both went to college. We both have a car. We both have a wife. We both read one book a month. What's so different between him? And what you'll find often is that it's the intangibles. What are these intangibles? A positive attitude is one. People who are positive, just better things happen to them in life. They see the upside in things. They look for the good instead of the bad. And so they position themselves. What else could it be? People who are, maybe they are faith-based. Maybe it's their faith that everything works out. And people who are going at it alone, who don't have a faith, are just too beat down to play the game. Or is it simply the scope of their thinking, the scope of their imagination, what they believe is possible? Same degrees, same cars, same neighborhood, but this guy believes he could make $100 million in his life. And this guy believes he'd be lucky to have $1 million by retirement. You see, the level of how you think, the magnitude that you think at, is shaping your life completely. And if you want to make a quantum leap, start with, listen right here, belief is essential, creative thinking is essential. If you're stuck, how can you think creatively? Let your mind flow. Jot down ideas, and you might get in the flow state. I don't know if I should go off rip. Did you guys catch? Yeah, I think I'm going to, just for fun. Okay, side note topic. This is how it gets longer because the mind, I don't know what I'm going to say. I'm going to read the book, but then once you get here, the mind just goes to work, right? So I'm talking about creative thinking, and I'm going to go a little bit spiritual on you guys because here in Dreamers Library, we can do anything. Okay. And I'm actually going to do one more thing because I realized that some of the comments haven't been showing up on my page, so I just want to see if anyone else is here that I'm missing. But it might be everybody. Let's get in there. See? Irrational Skeptic and Space Girl Penguin and Bro AJ and Peanut and Mr. Scene. It sucks, guys. I don't know what's the deal. I'm not seeing any of you guys on my chat. I'm so sorry. So I'll keep this open. So Mr. Scene says, the one. Bro AJ says, we are live. Happy Catterday. Skeptic says, chillin' and dreamin' reminds me of there is no soon. See, Skeptic, you're going to like what I'm about to tell you, bro. We're about to talk about the higher self, okay? So you'll want to catch this. Are aliens real? I'll just tell you, yeah, they are. Aliens are real. I don't know if Rose is here, but yes, you asked. That is the answer. Space Girl Penguin, big thinker. Big dreamer. I like Space Girl thinking. I refuse traditional thinking. So do I. I reject it completely. And I think that's where it begins, Space Girl Penguin. Like the rejection of mediocrity, the rejection of the denial, the rejection of what's possible. I just deny it all. And there's another cool thing about that is what you seek, you shall find. Like that's even a biblical thing. Ask and it'll be given to you. Seek and you will find. I found this to be so true because there are traditional thinking things that say, I want to learn about this topic. And they're like, bro, you Google it. It's like, that's science fiction. I'm like, no, it's not. I know my inner knowing tells me it's not science fiction. No. I just know. And so you keep looking and you keep looking and you keep looking. And then boom, bam, bing, you just like find. You find what you're looking for. So good. I'm glad you're not corrupted. You still have the dreamer in you. Oh, shoot. Skeptics on a wave. The age of Aquarius is here to assist us in that. Originally is a huge theme of it. I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about, Skeptic. I've heard of this. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to get too weird. I know we're all dreamers here. What did my sister just text me? Oh, cool. I don't want to get too weird here. But yeah, dude, I mean, yes, I've talked about that. So we're going to talk about it for 1 second. All right, you guys want to learn stuff? You like to learn? let me tell you about one thing about this whole age of Aquarius. You don't have to look it up. You don't have to care. You don't have to pay attention, but just entertain the idea for a second. That idea that was just mentioned, what this idea says is that every so often there's cycles of time. So there's, I don't know, it's like 10,000 something years are in a cycle, right? Like 10,500 years, and it's split up into 4 quarters of 2,300 or 2,400, something like that. And as time in these cycles changes, so does the status quo of Earth and how we live. Today, Earth is completely built on belief systems. My bread and butter, I love it. Belief is everything. Belief is the key to dream. Belief has made most of my dreams come true. I love belief. Belief means we rely on faith alone. How do we know God's real? We don't get to see him. We believe. How do we know, oh, my grandpa has cancer. He's going to die. The doctor says, no, I believe he won't. How? We don't get to see any proof. We just believe in prayer power. We believe in whatever. The Age of Aquarius says that we are going into a new era, which is why it's a very, very interesting. Because this is supposed to be a huge change, where society goes from a belief nation to a fact nation. And basically what that means is all will be revealed. So you won't need to speculate anymore. The truth will just be hand delivered to you. And perhaps that's why we're talking about disclosure, right? Because in this new era, this is why people, and what else is being talked about? A golden age. You know, Trump talks about the golden age. You hear some people say golden age, golden age. We joke around golden age of dream, golden age of crypto, golden age of meme coins. But do you know what the real golden age, why that prophecy exists? Because it's the golden age of enlightenment. Enlightenment means you're becoming aware of. Things are being revealed to you. You used to believe, I believe that when you die, this happens. I believe, like, I don't even know what a good example would be. But you were believing these things. But enlightenment would mean you don't need to believe. This is exactly, it is being revealed to you. This is exactly how it works. And that simmering, loading thing, I mean, has huge ripple effect for society and how we move forward. So, interesting, skeptic. Bro, AJ says 2 suggestions for your creative thinking. Number 1, eliminate it is possible. Everything is possible. Eliminate is it is impossible. Everything is possible if you can dream. Number 2, think of something you cannot do. I think you messed up your typing, bro. Both the things you said were like opposites. Think of something you cannot do and keep doing it. I don't know. But I'm glad you're listening. I'm glad you're here. All right, now, shout out to Global Crypto Explorer, probably here because the legend Peanut pulled up. I want to show you guys one thing real quick, and we're getting a little bit more spiritual on you. Okay, I talked about, I don't know if you caught my tweeting spree last night at 3 in the morning. Okay, but this is on the topic because we were talking about the power of the mind and how different things can shift or whatever. And when you're in a different state, when you put your mind in a different state, you create different things. Okay, and what I want to talk about is what I call. Do I want to go this far? Yes, I will. I will go this far. What I want to talk about real quick, get a little weird on you, is called the higher self. Your mind is your mind, okay? It exists, and when you stimulate it the right way, it will produce amazing things for you. If you feed it thoughts of fear and negativity and doubt, well, then you're going to go around fearful and scared and jumping around and anxious. When I stimulate my mind correctly, every once in a while, I get into what I call the flow state. And this is where the mind just doesn't stop. Usually what I'm doing is I just get on like a winning streak. So I entertain a very creative, fascinating idea. I entertain this idea and I start thinking about it and I start typing or I start writing or I start Googling. And as I get further down that little rabbit hole, like ideas just start flying in and they stack on each other. It's like, oh, I'm making this tweet and boom, I just got another idea. I finish it, I put it in my drafts and there's no gap. I just start typing and boom, 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 boom. It's like getting the creative juices flowing, right? That's kind of what happens. This is called the flow state. And if you get in this, oh, there's magic here. Because the way, like, from this state, this is where you're unstoppable. This is where the greatest version of you exists. There's a version of you who's so confident There's a version of you who says, yes, I can. And there's a version of you who's like high on your own supply. And you're like, I'm Ricky Bobby, I'm the best there is, and I'm not gonna hide from it. It's just the truth, and I don't know what you want me to say. But like the power of how you craft your words is so powerful. And I'll just read you a few of these tweets because I was in the flow state. And maybe if you guys are content creators and you think of tweets, sometimes it takes a really long time to think of a good tweet, right? Like your mind is stuck and you're like, gosh, I don't even know what to tweet. I haven't thought of anything all day. There's just nothing to say, nothing to whatever. And sometimes they just fly out. Well, here we go. Words are empty promises until they manifest into form, but by then you'll already be too late. So that was like a nice little powerful. And then I said, I could go on a tweeting spree right now, and I just might. I'm a cat, but I feel like a dog who needs to piss on a pole. So like even right there, that was the direct line of thoughts that was coming through my head. It was aggressive. Like I'm a dog who wants to piss on a pole. It's just, and no one liked it, by the way. Let's just like that, just for the self-love. So I talked about a few different things, right? And I just went on a giant tweeting spree that was pretty much about confidence. So it said, and I just saw Skeptic made a tweet about ego too. I said, it's 3:07 a.m. So of course my ego is up. I hide him all the time. I don't need him yet. We're just building. So that ego is the thing inside of you that every once in a while makes you crash out in the best way. And it says, you're the best you're the best. You're the best, dude. Like literally, you know you're the best. You know literally nobody can stop you. You know there's literally no competition. Like that would be your ego talking, right? And so I went on to say, I'm the greatest KOL, blah, blah, blah. Foodies don't salivate over a half-baked cake with no frosting, do they? They don't want to eat the cake. It doesn't even look good. Well, the cake's not done. Cake boss. I mean, this is just energy if you didn't catch it. People claim they try their best. You can't really mean that. That sounds like, that was just, we'll skip that one. But I mean that first part. Okay, talk about a prophecy, villain mode. Here we go. I'll read you it's no secret. I tweeted it last night. I've aligned with my higher self 3 times in 2026 on 3 separate occasions. This is also new in my life. I didn't do this previously. The first time I typed ideas from 11 o'clock at night to 8 in the morning. So the first time I got in a flow state, it was insane. And we'll just cut it off from there because I don't need to show you all the tweets. But the first time I got in the flow state, I was looking things up. And for 9 hours straight, no tiredness, the sun came up. I didn't care. I was like so locked in because my mind just wouldn't stop. It was just leading me from chain to chain. In that hour of time, I found 5 places that I wanted to travel, new places that I didn't know. I found a new like role model to follow in my life's dreams. So like I always said, man, like Walt, I look up to him, what he does, blah, blah, blah. And the guy I found was the guy from the Barnum and Bailey Circus, Barnum something, P.T. Barnum. And I found he wrote all these books about how to be a showman and how to create like an amazing show. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is destiny. This is meant for me. So that night provided me so many answers. I got answers about the Dreamcat trademark and how to go about certain things and how to build out the correct portfolio. Like more information, more answers, more creativity, more thought was delivered in that window of time than like an entire month, 2-3 months prior. This is called the flow state. So side rant I had to throw at you about the flow state in case you're experiencing it. This happens when you stimulate the mind or you flirt with a big dream or an idea, then you begin to expand. All right, moving on. Capacity is a state of mind. How much we can do depends on how much we think we can do. When you really believe you can do more, your mind thinks creatively and shows you the way. Okay, now I got the next debate. Let's see if you're up for this debate or not. Satoshi has a few more comments here. Let's catch those. Asking yourself the right questions will get your mind working to generate possible ideas, but you also must listen to people and their opinions. Yeah, so that's coming up next. That's what we're going to talk about, right? Is not being the yapper. An intelligent person wants to listen. So that ideas can develop with different perspectives. So you want to listen to people and their opinions so ideas can develop at different perspectives. This is why we do spaces. This is why, a space, an X space, is like an open room where you hear other people share angles and ideas and you get perspectives and different outlooks about how you want to do things. You know what I mean? All right. Here's my debate for you. Based on what they just said before, we're on page 114. This was a sparked idea that I had. This is going to prove everything to you. So the story on page 112 and 113 is about a guy who works at his job. And he basically says, I was offered an opportunity and I realized it's never a good idea to turn down a good opportunity. So I always accept an opportunity. But most people would say, I don't have time. There's no time to do this. So he accepted the opportunity anyway. And he said that the people he chooses to work with, the best people to work with, are the people who are the busiest. He says, I don't partner with people who have free time because they never produce and they never just get the results. They're not about that life. But ironically, the people who have no time somehow do and achieve the most. I found that to be really interesting. And then I saw a TikTok 2 days ago and it was viral. And that's a good sign. If it's viral, everyone knows it's true. Some guy said, so everyone's working 8-hour days and you're telling me like 10 emails, 1 Zoom meeting, and I don't know, 10 calls or whatever takes 8 hours? I wish I had the reel to show you, but he basically said like everyone's throwing in the towel. Everyone is wasting all their time. Everyone is dicking around at work. And I think it's so true. No one is living up to their potential. Everyone is coasting. All these people liked it and commented like, yeah, I go to work for 8 hours a day, but really I'm doing like 2 hours of work, 2.5 hours worth of work. That's a perspective for people. So you don't have to tell me. I don't want you to be exposed. But coasting at your job is one thing. But I want you to think about everything right now. You think you're doing things. I'm busy. Oh, I could optimize way more. Like when you lock in, you get it. When you got to get shit done the day before you go on vacation, oh man, you're doing errands, you're doing laundry, dishes, you're locked in. You're getting so much done. So is this you? Are you going to the 8-hour job each day and only productively using 3 hours? And if you monitored your day, do you find the 20 minutes there, the text there, all the spaces where you're losing the time, the energy, etc.? Food for thought. What about dream? What about in crypto? Can that be applied as well? I think of dream, you don't have to be the person, but maybe you want to be the person. Maybe you say, man, I am chasing the dream. And you make one post in the chat in Telegram. Another good example is girls who don't want their, like guys will go out and the guy will go out and say, sorry, babe. Sorry, I couldn't text you. I was so busy. I just got caught up. So she pulls out her phone when they're together, right, to like humiliate the guy. And she's like, hey, babe, sorry, I'm really busy. I'll catch you later. I love you. Bye. Boom. She said, that took 14 seconds. It was a really good point. It really exemplified how there is these moments of time. And he said he didn't have time, but it literally took 14 seconds. Could have got it done. So these high performers, they do the same thing. They find ways to maximize time. And so Raylan was talking a few weeks ago. Raylan was out here talking about how he's trying to optimize his life, level up his life. And he acknowledged all the areas in his life where he could cut back. He's like, man, I do find myself spending a lot of time on Discord or games. And I'm cutting these things out. And suddenly, I'm not out of time. And another thing, I'm ranting, but another thing, how can you be out of time if this is your only life? Okay, some people don't believe that anymore. Maybe I don't even believe that anymore. But let's just say YOLO. This is your only life. How can you be out of time? It's yours. I've realized that a few times. This happened to me in Dreamcat a while back. I was doing too many spaces and streams, and I just cut the spaces out. It was the Cat Collective Index spaces. They got cut and a regular space. I said, how can I be in control of my own life? I'm the creator. I'm creating my entire life. By the way, you're a creator too. How can you be creating your entire life and run out of time? If you don't like it, if you don't have time, then you have to change because you're the creator. Change it so you do have more time. Rearrange. Cut out what doesn't work. Optimize. Schedule. right? These are all good things to think about. And hopefully I'm the one on the stage, so I have to yap unless you're yapping in the comments, but hopefully something here can spark a thought with you. Okay. We're going to page 116, and look, we're almost done. I knew it was a good, just short one. Oh, wait, maybe not. All right, we got like 7 more pages maybe. Okay, observation, page 116, top of 116. I have learned from painful, expensive experiences that the fellow who has plenty of time makes an ineffective work partner. All the successful, competent people I know are busy. I've learned in dozens of instances that I can count on a busy man to deliver, but I have often been disappointed in working with people who have all the time in the world. So keep that in mind, just a nugget for life to understand, and ask yourself, which one are you, the person who has all the time or no time and who gets stuff done? Next nugget that popped off to me was, learn nothing from telling. Okay, I already touched on that briefly. Wow, different era, opportunities thinking at 6 weeks time. Okay, good story in there. There was a good story. So I'll give you one more story. I didn't highlight this, but there's some great nuggets on page 122. On page 121, there was a story, an example of creative thinking. Could you use creative thinking to make a ton of money right now by seeing what other people can't see? Is the founder of Dream? I see what nobody's seeing. I say there's people like me, real founders, real people who want to help people, real people who have dreams and visions, real builders. There's people like me, and when I came into the space, I said none of them are here. This is the wild, wild west. Boobs coin, butt coin, fart coin, silly butt scam, 29.69, 420. I said, damn, I really think the vehicle's amazing of meme coins. I see the power. There is some good people here. We're talking to them right now, but this is wide open, and there's no one like me here. Okay, I see a creative opportunity to be first, to plant a flag, and that will allow me to catapult further with what we do with Dream. Okay, so I saw that. Here's an example in the book. They told a story about a farm that was available. Someone was selling a 50-acre farm. It was run down. It was raggedy. They put it on the market for a long time. Nobody was buying. I just realized I didn't. Oh, no.
How does that sound? Does that sound much better? See, you got to pay attention to the details. I'm so disappointed that I just delivered this whole Dreamers library on low quality audio going through. Now I probably sound like Bubba Gump. Ladies and gentlemen, crispy and clear. I'm so sorry about that. So the farm, 5 acres, I don't know what it was, $8,000 back in the day, $8,000 for a 50-acre farm. Wow, times sure have changed. And okay, you have that going on and no one wants to buy this thing. This guy says, wait a minute, I think I know a few things about a few things and people would want to buy this. Maybe we bring in some more trees. Maybe we sell the dream. So he buys the farm and he adds some money and some creative thinking. He says, I am going to take out some ads in a magazine. I'm going to bring in a land developer who's going to take this 50-acre farm and cut up all that land into 10 separate plots, 10 plots of 5. So now he's multiplying it out. He says, we're going to plant some trees. We're going to put some money in some gardening. We're going to do some ads, some advertising, and we're going to pitch this dream to these people, pitch the vision. Hey, you can get the small acre farm, blah, blah, blah. And it happened in it happened like that. He invested an extra $2,000 on top of the $8,500 that he spent. And so he was all in for $10,400. In a quick amount of time, he profited $19,600. So he made a 200x on his investment. Why? The land wasn't the problem. The way it was packaged was the problem. Package, delivery, packaging matters. People buy books because of the title. So if you put a wrong title, you might miss everything, but you hit the right title and you hit one person who loves it and shares it, it's a whole new world. The same can be true for dream. Perhaps thus far we package it in one way. Perhaps it's only been seen and viewed by people in one way. When we were shilling in the beginning, it was about XRP and like different things that we were shilling. It's completely different now. Still not shilled. How will this packaging relate to other people? Packaging. So this is a way that you can find hidden opportunities. An example, I used to flip things online. I just give examples. I love to give examples. I just want you to learn. Is this any good? You let me know. I hope this can serve you in some way. I like to give example after example because I want to help you think. When you're thinking, you're winning. You're dreaming. I used to think about how I could make money online. Flipping things. Like I used to flip things, resell. And an idea would be someone is selling a giant lot of things and they don't want to split them up. There was this lady who was selling 400 WWE action figures. They were in a giant tote. She put them all up, $200 or whatever. Okay, so that's like 50 cents a piece. I bought them, but I did what people don't want to do. It's not even really creative thinking. It's just a different way of packaging. I split them all up individually. Some of these characters were worth $50 all by themselves. It was a really good flip. I made like $2,000 on these action figures, right? I did the same thing with these Pokemon action figures. I turned $150 into like, I forget, maybe like 2,100 or something like that. I think it was more than that. But again, it's just a way of doing things. The opportunities are everywhere. You just got to look. You got to pay attention. There's always a why. A will. I'm sorry, not a why. A will. There's a will and a way. Now we're looking at only a couple pages left. I highlighted the crap about page 122. Quick tip on books, since this is book club. I used to go to the library and buy books. I would suggest owning books because when you go through and do your homework and see something you like when you're reading it, you can highlight it. And this serves as your sort of spark notes, because if you highlight something and then you're done with the book and you put it on the shelf and you're like, man, I've been thinking real small lately. I need to think and dream bigger. You take it off the shelf and you kind of spark note it and look at what hit before and extract those out. So that is a good way of reading. They made you do it in school. We're out of school. It was a good thing to do. Page 122. Remember, a mind that feeds only on itself soon is undernourished, becoming weak and incapable of creative, progressive thought. Stimulation from others is excellent mind food. If it's just you and your thoughts and whatever your circumstances are, you're bound to be in trouble. That's what they mean. Like over time, you're going to be in trouble and you're just going to be left with your thoughts. And I watch the news every day and oh gosh, they're just poisoning and poisoning and poisoning. So if you do nothing, it atrophies. If you don't work out your muscles, they go away. Same deal. He says, okay, boom, 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 boom. Stimulation from others is excellent mind food. Second, join and participate in at least one group outside of your occupational interests. You have a job, you're in the Dreamers community. This is the place where you can get outside the box ideas. You'll be surprised how mixing regularly with people outside of your regular job and occupation will stimulate your on-the-job thinking. He says, so it is with ideas. Very few bear fruit. Ideas are highly perishable. If we're not on guard, negative thinking will destroy most ideas. Ideas require special handling from the time they are born until they're transformed into practical ways for doing things better. Use these 3 strategies to harness and develop your ideas. Number 1, don't let your ideas escape. Write them down. Write down your ideas. Every day, lots of good ideas are born only to die quickly because they aren't written on paper. Your notes, your phone, your tweet drafts, when you get an idea, write it down. You guys know I say something and I lose the thought. Gone forever. Could that be your big idea? Number 2, review these ideas. Write them in your journal. Look over them. Find the patterns. File these ideas. He's talking about filing cabinet. We're way past that. Review your ideas. Number 2. Number 3, cultivate and fertilize your ideas. Now make your idea grow. Think about your idea. Tie the idea to related ideas. Read anything you can find that is in any way akin to your idea. Investigate all angles. This process is the process of creation. You have an idea, eureka. You sit on the idea, you let it be. It comes up again, boom, second time, third time, eureka. Then you say, you know what? Let's look at those ideas. We're in a situation here. Let's see which ideas. Okay, here's all my best ideas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we'll make a cat collective index. Okay, cat collective index. That was an idea. How do we get started on this thing? Well, let's find all the cats. And then the creation process happens. And one thing leads to another, and it's out there. And then you tweet it, and then people find you from it. And like, it all starts with an idea. But then you got to cultivate it, review it, capture it. Okay? And the last page here, page 124. Oh, okay. This is good for me and for you. Another nugget. I am a orator. I'm telling you things, but to the mind, they register one type of way. If we're tweeting words, if we're shilling Dreamcat and we're tweeting words, it shows people Dream in one kind of way. If we are, I don't know, just tweeting a picture of Dream in itself, it relays Dream in one kind of way. It gives people one kind of way. This seems like a good nugget. The guy in the story talked about 2 people trying to get a job. One guy gave him all these numbers and told him these things, confused him. He shut him down. Another guy came in with charts and graphics. He came in with a diagram, a graphic, and he basically said, here is my recommendations. All the details were shown in diagram form. It was easy to understand and to digest, and he could see it. He was sold. He said, man, this is an easy way for me to say yes. The suggestion is resolve to put your ideas in a saleable form. An idea written or in some sort of picture or diagram has many times more selling power than the idea presented only orally. Okay? And I said, man, this is really, really good. Visual over verbal. I have the gift of gab. It's easy to speak. It's easy to type words. But could we take our convictions, if we're making Dreamcat edits, can we put the things that have happened in a simple to read chart form? Dreamcat all-time high prices, just a simple green line. And someone digests that in a snap and they're like, oh, I get it now. I understand. This was a good suggestion. And this proves, I'll review the final ideas one more time, but that's essentially the end of the chapter. And what this makes me think of is the power of reading. We just did this chapter. It was really good for me to remember that believing it can be done is the most important. Painting a positive vision, good refresher for my mind. But ultimately, I read this in the past, and today, the tool I'm taking is create graphical charts, ideas, etc. Because some people consume it differently. So from reading, I just stimulated my mind and got one fresh idea. That is the power of book clubbing, right? That's the power of reading. You get an idea and it only takes one spark of inspiration, one idea at the right time, one idea that gets you to the next idea, and that idea becomes the idea. You know what I'm saying here? So yes. Okay, I'm just going to hop in the chat one more time, see what else I missed. We got creative thinking believes it can be done. Set the mind in motion from bro AJ. How much you can do depends on how much you believe you can do. Facts. Skeptic says, oh my Lord, your voice is like night and day with the mic. Huge difference. I'm ashamed and I'm sorry. That's a lack of attention to detail. And I thought the mic was broken for a while. And I realized, man, I could sound like a TV movie star. Example of creative thinking, good packaging. Yes, that's one way to do it. Voltaire said it best. We must cultivate our own garden. This is like, that shows up in every Stoic everything, right? You have your flowers, you have your weeds. If you don't pull up the weeds, if you don't yank the weeds continuously, eventually they steal the water. They wrap around the plant. They strangle it and kill it out. Same things with negative thinking. If you let negative thinking run rampant, rules your life. It stops you from taking action. It makes you shrink instead of grow and leap and take the risks. And then bro AJ says, write your idea down, review your idea, cultivate your idea. Well said, bro. Okay, we're at the final stretch here. the review of everything, because we didn't even cover everything. Some of these I skipped over. Satoshi didn't call my bluff, but I was just sharing what I thought was relevant. Summary of today's entire chapter, in case you just pulled up. Number 1, believe it can be done. When you believe something can be done, your mind will find ways to do it. Eliminate impossible, won't work, can't do it, no use trying. From your thinking and speaking, eliminate that stuff. Number 2, don't let tradition paralyze your mind. Be receptive to new ideas. Be experimental. Try new approaches. Be progressive in everything you do. So that's the second bit here. Traditional ideas, money in a job, degree, buy brand new launches. That's an idea in crypto. Buy a new launch. No one's aping into PopCat or Mog right now. They're aping into CashCat and Kate. They're going for the sexy new launch. It's not that time yet. That's a traditional way of thinking. But eventually, these ideas evolve and develop over time. Number 3, ask yourself daily, how can I do better? There's no limit to self-improvement. Thank you, because I love it. How can I do better? Number 4, ask yourself, how can I do more? How can I do more? How can I do more in my life? How can I do more financially? How can I do more in my fitness? How can I do more? How can I get more done? Number 5, practice asking and listening. Ask and listen, and you'll obtain raw material for reaching sound decisions. Remember, big people monopolize the listening. Small people monopolize the talking. That means that the big people who actually have more knowledge oftentimes try to be quiet and listen to what they can learn. That's why I always say in like VCs, like, I'll talk if no one's going to talk, but ideally I don't want to talk at all because I know things, but it's not fulfilling. I like to teach, but it's not fulfilling to me if it's a one-sided show, which we're sort of in without your comments right here. But your comments help. Your comments help shape the conversation and change things. And I love it. See, Voltaire, like Shout to Skeptic brought the Voltaire quote. I wasn't even realizing. I didn't know that quote off the rip. Number 6 is stretch your mind and stimulate your mind. Associate with people who can help you think of new ideas, new ways of doing things. Great. Because look, if you're in a jam, come in the dream community. This is where you can talk about it. If you need to hash out an idea and you need to stretch your mind, hey, I got this issue. Does anyone have any ideas on how we can expand? Like, this is just the best part about life. Life is full of problems. Some people are self-seeking. Some people are willing to ask for help and say, man, I'm trying to figure out, does anyone have an idea about this? Hey, I'm being vulnerable. This is what I'm working through. And then when you bring multiple minds to something, they can point you to one idea or another idea. And it can be powerful for you. So that's the gist of this week's Dreamers Library Book Club. I appreciate you all for coming and pulling up, tapping in, listening, sharing it out. I'm going to look over at the X real quick. Let's do that. So just so we know, I feel a little bit bad because I think Dreamers Library is something that we do for free, but some people pay to get in because we have I don't know if you guys know this. We have a backlog of Dreamers Library. So if you're someone who loves personal development and it's something that crypto related to personal development, we've already done 3 other books and we have a login that you can get, a custom login where you can go in and review any and all chapters if you need a boost. And you can also hear alpha that we've talked about, predictions that we've talked about, things we've talked about. There's also I share my brainwashing belief system inside of that login. So if you want to get lifetime access to everything we ever cover, like we're going to do books. Eventually, it's probably going to go to private versus being public. It's supply and demand as we build. But just a reminder, if you want access to all that, or you want to speak on this screen, you can join the conversation. If you want to speak on this screen, it's right now 1 Solana for lifetime access forever for all the books, or you don't even need to buy it. Do you have a Million Dream? Do you already have a Million Dream? Now, a Million Dream is getting a little bit more expensive. It's much cheaper for a Solana, but for a while, a Million Dream was like, I don't know, $100 or something. Pretty good deal. 1 Solana was a pretty good deal. So just a reminder that that's out there. But we normally don't do giveaways on the stream, just so you know, because you're getting all the value. So this is usually for the people who are tapped in. So it's good to see some friendly faces out there on this great Catterday, but we're just going to take a peek over at X and see who I need to shout out, who's been tapping in with us, and what alpha we need to retweet. Oh wait, am I on the wrong account? By golly, I am. Let me switch over to Dreamcat. By golly, you like that? I'm tapping into like the 50s and the 60s. I'm on that wave. Don't worry, I didn't leave. I'm still here. All right, we're so totally back. I was just listening to your ideas. Something might be useful to me. Good. Something that I shared was useful to you? Uh-oh, I'm accidentally shilling Suki on accident. It's on my news feed. Shout out to Suki. I am a holder. Here's where we want to go. I just want to see who I need to shout out. Who do I need to shout out? I like shout outs. Bro AJ, don't let tradition paralyze your ideas. Set out for new ideas. Ask yourself, how can I do better? How can I do more? Practice asking and listening. That's good. I'm going to see everything before I consider retweeting. Because look, you're sharing out. Max sharing out. Write down your ideas. Review your idea. Cultivate your idea. Thanks for sharing, bro. Example of creative thinking. See, it's a good example of massive action too. Sometimes when we do giveaways for Dream Talk, we'd say who's the MVP of the stream. So bro AJ learned that. He's been winning Dream lately in our Dream Talks. Shout out to you, bro. Max Sharon. Ziggy stopped by. Shout out to Ziggy. This must be the peanut power. Yeah, see, this was the peanut power. Thanks for sharing us out, Peanut, if you're still out there. Thanks for sharing us out, bro. We appreciate that. I owe you some retweets or something because I don't always retweet as much. If someone sends me something, I'm more likely to retweet. Good tip. If you send me something in the DMs, I'm more likely to retweet. Thanks for sharing it out, all. I'll see you guys out there. Yeah, dude, bro AJ out here. And this is good, dude. When you type things out, it helps you learn. It helps your retainment of learning. Appreciate you, bro. You're out here. Oh, man, this is a classic. Happy Catterday, dreamers. All we do is win. Dreamland, Nevada. Now, look, before AI, this was like before the early AI. Look how good this is. Welcome to fabulous Dreamland. You don't understand that edits like this, you can see it's a little bit like fuzzier. You don't understand how hard it was to make stuff like that. Libre made this one. Like, this was so amazing back in the day. And this is, man, Peanut had to have that on his phone. That's a classic. And then we're back to where we started. Mr. Scene, thanks. Skeptic, thanks. I think I replied to all those. Cool. Awesome. And CryptoCat just pulled up. Shout out to CryptoCat. We're connected on Instagram. So sometimes he sees Dream through the Instagram portal of things. And we do post things on Instagram. We posted like 6 things on Instagram stories. Space Girl Penguins too. But that's all I got for you guys. Like I said, there was no giveaway, but bro AJ, you just went absolutely parabolic. So I want to respect your time. I'm going to give you 1,000 Dream. Maybe you didn't know. Obviously I want people to show up, but I know you're very driven in that way. So I just want to, just because you went all out, man, I'm going to toss you 1,000 Dream. But yeah, we normally don't have the standard giveaway. So assume that was the motivation for going all out, but hopefully you could still learn something. Because to me, my final thing I'd say to you guys is, you know, a lot of people, like I'll say like, I want to see you win, right? And someone say, okay, then give me $100. But here's the thing. I am 100% the person who wants to teach you how to fish more than anything. And here's the other thing. I'm doing this with my own family. I don't know if my mom will see this or someone else. If I win big, I'm taking care of my mom, period. I'm not going to hold out on her, okay? She's not going to have to, I'm not going to teach her anything else. But if my cousins or even my siblings in some way, I'm going to challenge them. My friends, I always do this. I'm going to give you every option. If we're really like that, like if we're really close, I'm going to say, dude, yeah, I will teach you how. I will do a phone call with 1 hour and I'll tell you exactly what I know. I'll give you the knowledge. I'll give you the information. You know, I won't feel guilty if someone says, oh man, come on, put me on. I've been sacrificing for a long time. just for commitment of learning, right? Like I got like 9 years of personal development in the game. That means reading a lot of books instead of playing video games. Gets me an edge on my knowledge. I earned it. I deserve to have an edge. Now what do I do on Saturdays? All of you here, you're here on a book club. There's cooler things. We got UFC fights. We got, I saw a preseason Bears game was going on. We got stuff going on, sports, markets. You're here to learn. You're a unique breed. You're someone different. And because of that, you're working on your mind, your thoughts. And obviously we know what the motive is for most is, yes, friendship and learning English and those things, but money. And that's okay. I too, my whole narrative in life is using knowledge to get rich. Yeah, I sugarcoat it sometimes. Oh yeah, dream, blah, blah. I'm absolutely getting rich. The good news is I don't need crypto. So I feel a little bit better. Some people might say, well, what are your other strategies? The great thing about being a dreamer is you can always find a way. I'm not talking about 7 streams of income. I'm just saying when you dream big, there's just everything, infinite possibilities for you and how you can make it happen. So what I really wanted to say was the knowledge is everything. And if you're out there and we do something crazy, everyone usually asks for the how once they see it work. And that's another simple reminder for you. We say this every week in the chat. If you're a dreamer and you're out here shilling dream, or I don't know, you're looking at charts. Yes, charts do tell you what to buy. But sometimes people present you other pieces of the puzzle that allow you to form an opinion and allow you to react before you witness. And that is called being a visionary, right? So Dream is set up that way. You see our streams getting better. You see our quality getting better. You see that there's some chess piece pawn thing going on. You see that we got on Jupiter strict list for the first time after 2 years in the last month. You see certain things, and maybe there's signals, and maybe you can respond to them or speculate based on them with your belief. Well, same thing goes here. If you're listening to what I'm saying, I like to say, I don't expect you to believe in me because I don't know. Do you want my life? That's a wise way to think about who you listen to. Do you want their life? But the out that I have is I'm simply a messenger. Okay. I know it's all going to work for me. I'm good. I'm so confident. I am good. I am set. But what I know is going to happen is what we're sharing here is we're telling you the guy who sold 6 million books that people have built entire careers on. I'm just the messenger making it cryptotized for you, cryptotized, if that's a word. I'm making it digestible in a way that you can use it, but it's not, I'm just a messenger. So you don't have to take my word for it. Take their word for it. Take Napoleon Hill's word for it. Take Les Brown's word for it, right? We're repeating it. We're packaging it in Dream. But the thing is, here's what happens. When you make it, dream about that for a second. When you make it, you've been here doing your crypto thing. Canwer's been here before talking about, man, he had a hard time with his family, believing in what he was doing, kind of hating on what he was doing. All the people around him were not supportive of the idea. Canwer, it's the best place to dream, dude. I think it's good that you're in crypto. I'm glad you're here. Even if you weren't in Dream, dude, you're in the right place. It's a great place to be. It's a great place of possibility and hardship scams, all other things. But when Canwer wins big, and he hits big, and then he pulls up in his car, and I see Cameron's like a sunglasses guy. I think I've seen him wearing sunglasses. And he pulls up in his nice car to his mom's house, and he takes the sunglasses down and does the little Shrek meme that we have. Mom's gonna be proud of him, man. That's his mom, right? But like maybe the family or the cousins or the brothers or sisters say, oh, Cameron, dude, how'd you do it? Dude, teach me, blah, blah, blah. And I'll be like, man, I told you I had the most solid knowing and belief. God told me on the beach in my brain. This is a true story, by the way, in case you're looking for a reason to be bullish on Canwer. If you're looking for synchronicities, Canwer in our chat has shared this story publicly before. Said he was literally on the beach in meditative prayer before he even owned any Dream. And in his mind, it told him, buy Dreamcat. Dreamcat is the one. So when we talk about higher self, or we talk about people, how our minds, is maybe more that we think, call it a guardian angel, call it an ancestor, whatever you think. True story. Cameron was told that. So that even gives me extra belief. Like, I always knew we were the one, but thanks. I'm glad we're aligned on that level. Those people are going to come to Cameron and say, dude, tell me, and say, dude, I already told you. Those people are going to come to me and say, dude, can you help me? And say, dude, I'm the busiest I've ever been in my life. Go listen to my podcast. I shared everything, like everything that's going on, all the ideas. Join the book club. We put hours and hours, but you know what's going to happen then? And it's the tough part. This is why you should just show up each week. Who wants to do that? Oh man, it's going to take me 2 years to get through 50 hours of podcasts. They're going to want to digest it. But brick by brick, inch by inch, it's a cinch. Week by week, page by page, tweet by tweet, shill by shill, day by day, GM by GM. One rep after another, one at a time, one workout at a time, $1 at a time. That's the best way to get things done. Just little by little, you show up, and that's where all the magic happens, little by little. But it's going to become most overwhelming. And most people never get the success, the true success. Why? Because they're just looking for the shortest way possible, which is reflected here in crypto. The new launch, I'm going to buy this new launch, it could go to the moon. High risk. And then a lot of people get kicked out of the game because of that, right? It's just too risky. They lose it all. Things to be aware of, guys. Things to be aware of. So that's what I got. Thanks for pulling up. Thanks for tuning in. Got to go pay some dues. By golly, off to the gym. Our music bot's a little bit under construction. It's been iffy the last week, 2 months. So Homeboy's going to work on that for us. Hopefully whip it up. Yeah, it's Saturday. It's Catterday. The market's pumped. Trump pump. Sunday, we're closed on Sundays. Yeah, just stay tuned. I dropped a cool piece of content. I'll just show you one more thing. I dropped a cool piece of content that I love. And since this is Dreamers Library, I'll play it. Oh, shoot. You know what? I'm going to save it for Dream Talk. I'm going to save it for Dream Talk. That's what I'm going to do. Save it for Dream Talk. I just want to flex my cool edit, and then I'm done. And I'm going to check comments for any comments I missed. My super cool Aladdin edit. Come on. Who knows what's going on here? Who knows about Aladdin? I see you, Mr. Scene. Who knows about Aladdin? Check this out. Oh, yeah. This is just a beauty. I'm so proud of this content. I don't make memes per se, but tell me if you know Aladdin. Tell me this isn't attractive. Who is that? Abu. And if you know this scene, okay, in the movie Aladdin, there's a cave of wonders. The more you get to see, the more irresistible it will be. Imagine what's inside the cave of wonders. Dreamcat is like a cave of wonders, and that's real. 1 in a billion. Oh, shit, now I'm shilling. 1 in a billion, diamond in a rough. In the movie, they say there's this giant tiger, okay? And it's a cave. It's a cave filled with treasure, a legendary cave. And the tiger is animated and he's talking. And he says, "Who disturbs my slumber?" And the person says, "I'm this little humble thief. I want to take this or take this." And he says, "Know this, only one can enter here. One whose worth lies deep within, the diamond in the rough." Meaning rarity, meaning most wanted the cave of wonders because of greed, because money. But the person who is true, who has eyes to see, can find the diamond in the rough. So when you're looking at this post, I hear everyone say, "We're going to a billion, we're going to a billion." It is absolutely true. It's a little bit exaggerated. There's not a billion meme coins, but I would say 1 in a million? Absolutely. Dreamcat is a 1 in a million meme coin. There's tons of cats. There's tons of real builders. There's tons of legit projects. There are. Dream is 1 in a billion. A diamond in the rough. So to me, coolest edit ever. I was just happy with this. Playing around. Using the movie. So yeah, that's it. Much love to you all, and see you in the chat. Have a wonderful Catterday. I hope you guys were able to get some value from today's Dreamers Library. I want to take a chance to talk more about the inside, a few books that we have coming up in the future, give you a look inside the Dreamers Library, and let you know how it works. So first, let's just jump right over here. If you've heard about the Dreamers Library and you're like, what is this actually about? I've heard about it. Why do I need to join? It's for free. It's streamed live. Well, the Dreamers Library is actually a back-end login that you get when you formally join. And inside this login has every single book we've ever covered. So like Think and Grow Rich was the first book we ever did in the Dreamers Library. This was private. This was offline. This was very intimate. We went through the deep dives. We gave the deepest alpha possible. And you have access to this as a member of the Dreamers Library, lifetime access, right? So you can go in, you can watch the previous episodes and hear about that alpha. In addition to that, I've also included a few bonuses. Here. Like this is the brainwashing belief course. This is a $50 course that I sell on my website, basically entailing how to brainwash belief into yourself so you believe each and everything. So all the books here on the back end, just wanted to show you what that's like. We have 3 books ahead, and how it works now is we go through each week one chapter at a time. Right now we're still reading Truthful Living. Adopt the Chief Aim is where we're at in this. And this is a public book. It's available for anyone who's watching online here on X, on YouTube, to listen and get the alpha. But there's a few limitations here. And that's why you should consider joining us in the Dreamers Library, because the whole element of a book club that really gets the most out of everything is your participation. And I'm going to give you a little teaser too. In my course, The Brainwashing Belief System, do you know what one of the secrets of the brainwashing is? It's how many senses you can involve with your emotions or the knowledge. So when you hear me preach and I'm giving you alpha, you're still winning. But your retention, how much of this you remember, how much of this you embody into your everyday life is low, right? Because you were doing some gardening, you were doing the dishes, you were driving in your car, you caught little bits. And a week from now, 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, you forget, but you still probably learn a little bit. The thing is that when you read yourself, a number of different inputs are hit on. You're going through and ideas are generated from your own reading. The reason I have my own library is because each book here is a lifetime reference guide for me. I read it one time through. I highlighted what was relevant. I read this book a long time ago, one of my first, 2019. At different sections of your life, different components of your life, sometimes you go back and reference. Sometimes you see how your thoughts evolve. So it's always better to have the book, because when you read it, you get ideas. You can jot those ideas down. When you read it, you have a different thought than I do. When I give the Dreamers Library talk, I'm giving you my version, my sight. But when you get in firsthand, you may see something different and see how that alpha relates to Dreamcat, this crypto journey, or your own personal success. So we welcome you guys to be on the inside. Perks of that is you'll be on the screen with me. You have an in to do this live stream along me and help shape this conversation. And not only that, when you are on the inside, when you're involved and you have to read each week, this does a few things for you to help you become a better winner. One, you get accountability, right? The accountability of showing up each week and doing the work, you're going to get 10 times more out of the book. And by the way, I'm reading you books that have transformed my life. These are the classics. We have a few good ahead. The second thing that you're going to get when you get in there, dive in and read yourself with us is the screen time, right? I say this I joke around. I always paint the big vision. It's all about belief, how we're literally building one of the largest communities of dreamers in the world. Well, you are in a great position of supply and demand. The way we're building this is all in reverse. So here we are putting out the pieces. We're showing you the back end. And lifetime access today is just 1 Solana, or better yet, if you're a dream holder and you have 1 million dream in a wallet, you don't even need to pay. You get 1 million dream and you're double winning. You dox that wallet, you have access to join. Lifetime access. Now, lifetime access is limited because right now we only have the ability to put up 9 people on the screen. And because of the supply and demand of crypto and where everything's at, it's a low time. We said, hey, let's make this public. I'm going to do these solo, put them out. But if you are one of those early visionaries and you see, you will benefit greatly by joining us now, because we're not always going to be able to do a small group powwow. Eventually, this is going to get too big, and those opportunities won't even be available. So I am a dreamer out there pursuing dreams, navigating through the crypto space, navigating the building of the DreamCat empire through this knowledge. And I invite anyone who sees it, anyone who's interested, anyone who feels the call, because it only takes one person out there hears the call. Maybe you're the one who has your life transformed. And I can tell you, before I started reading and after is a whole new life, a whole new world. So we still got a few more months to go through the books, but here's the deal. It's the Dreamers Library Lifetime Access. So this hub that I showed you just a little bit ago as well, this hub is a place where I want to put content. And if you get lifetime access today and you lock that in at this rate 1 SOL, I mean, when we started, it was 2.5 SOL, and we actually refunded people who sent it in. So it's supply and demand, okay? This vision for the hub is a place for knowledge and information. I don't want to overpromise, but I can see it being a place where I add more information along the way, higher level end stuff. It already has 3 full books in there: Truthful Living, The Secret, The Dreamers Library, and a $50 course. And all you have to do is get yourself a moon bag of dream. Pretty good trade-off. But we have a couple more books ahead. I have this list here. Like I mentioned before, if you want to get involved today, what does it look like? It's as simple as reaching out to me. It's still on a personal level, so you don't have to buy anywhere. It's simply 1 Solana. If you don't have Solana, sure, we can work out something. It can be Cash App, Venmo, USDC, but it's whatever the value of Solana is. Now, what is the reason? Why charge? I mean, first of all, it's free. Show up for now. You can get this book free. Maybe just freeload for a long time. But the reason why we charge is because if you don't, I learned this the hard way, if you don't pay for something, you don't honor, respect, and appreciate the information. Anything that's given you for free goes over your head. Now, we've given alpha on alpha on alpha in these Dreamer libraries. We've given alpha and alpha and alpha on Dream Talk, but most people aren't going to be there each week to catch up, and catching up is going to take them so long. So you might as well just join along in the journey and become the greatest version of yourself as you go along. So 1 Solana or 1 million dream. You simply show us your million dream wallet, which today is probably about $100. You never have to give it to us. You just have to dox the wallet. Obviously, if you sell, you lose access, but it's pretty simple. You can get a million dream, hold it for life, and have lifetime access and learn and become. You will buy your books, but you get access. So we have 3 titles to decide from in the next run, in the next book, and that is The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, one of the most powerful books I've ever read. The Magic of Thinking Big, a huge component of the dreamers of the world. And hey, the alpha of it all, the magic of believing, the magic of believing. Powerful forces locked in your mind can turn desire into reality. Now, I hear a few people out there say, these are basic books and I'm more into this and I'm more into this. Some of you here, you're in crypto to do crypto. This is all I was kind of interested. I want to become the best version of myself. I've dabbled. It takes me 3 years to read a book by myself. This is an interesting accountability concept of week by week and applying it to crypto where I'm hanging out anyway. And so I can tell you that the books that I'm sharing with you were the foundational books that shaped my mind as a dreamer, period. Literally each one of these components: belief, the power of your subconscious mind, thinking big, the universal laws and principles in Think and Grow Rich, The Secret, talking about manifestation, the power of positive thinking, truthful living, all core base level components of being a success in your life. And I leave this invitation to you, welcoming you, hoping that you'll join us, knowing that personal development absolutely transformed my life, knowing that the laws are universal, knowing that we will build the largest community of dreamers in the world, knowing that I am a student of the principles and they will be why I live a successful life, just like all the dreamers are out there pursuing. So again, we welcome you. We hope you'll join us on the inside, reach out, connect, and secure your seat in the Dreamers Library. If you have vision and there's only 9 seats and you get yours now, you can see how powerful that would be to get your face to have that visibility if we're really building that empire and you have that seat. If you're one of the dreamers of the world, join us. If not, hey, we'll catch you on the next one until we're offline. Take care. Cheers.